Radio. Aren't you so very fortunate? I know I am, because guess who's with me today? Miss Anayah. I'm really sad that Rosemary cannot make it, because I know we all look forward to having Rosemary on, and her gorgeous husband John did offer to stand in. However, Anayah is available, and Anayah had a wonderful, wonderful time with Janet Hickox yesterday. So, and today's topic seems to streamline or dovetail, if you like, into that. So here we are, talking about what makes our heart sing. Yay!
Yep. Such a great topic.
It is, isn't it? And thanks to Rosemary. That's so Rosemary's with us in spirit, even though she might not be on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Anayah, I know when you asked me that question yesterday, I said life, because I just find life pretty amazing.
Well, it's interesting because I've been thinking, okay, so I'm coming on the show with Annie, what makes my heart sing? And it was actually, it's something that it's so easy to take for granted. We think it's this, this, and this. But as I went deeper into the question, I really started to open up to the different answers. And one of the big things that came in loud and clear and very powerfully was you, Annette McCoy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really beautiful, actually. I started thinking about, it wasn't that long ago. Angel Heart Radio will be 13 in September. And I hadn't been on air very long when you joined Angel Heart Radio. And just thinking about over the years, all the amazing people you have brought to us and shared with us and given us the opportunity to meet. And what you mentioned, Janet Hickox, of course, Marnie Perner, Rosemary Butterworth. We've got so many different people who have Robbie Holtz, so many people over the years, and thinking about all the richness and everything that they've shared with us and certainly helped me to grow, given me lots to think about and move into. So, so you're pretty high up on my list today, Annie.
Well, thank you, Anayah, because, of course, without you, I wouldn't be here. So, and I
we're
guess
a good team then.
In that way, we thank the just excuse me for a minute, everybody.
Okay.
I just a little bit of housekeeping.
Housekeeping never ends, does it?
Oh dear. Oh, isn't it always the way? I'm caught out.
That's all right.
Here I am.
It's Angel Heart Radio. You're in safe hands.
Oh dear. There we go. Yes. So I look at how we all meet. I mean, and I was talking to a lady yesterday who I travelled to the airport with down in Hobart, and she believes, as I do, that people are brought into our lives for a reason. And sometimes if we fail to connect the first time, there's always, if we're meant to meet that person, we do. And I marvel at life and how, honestly, when we get out of the way, the universe just makes sure we're in the right place.
Because I'm fiddling around with my phone so I can get some.
There we are.
So, whoopsie, you got caught out. Now I'm caught out. So, hey, isn't that just a lovely continuity? But it's so true. And it's been a really good reminder for me and a good teaching for me throughout many years now, decades actually, that, we sometimes think that if we don't quickly seize an opportunity, even if it doesn't feel right, or the timing doesn't flow or whatever, that we're going to miss out. So we've got to go. But coming back to that truth, that tenet, that, when it's a true guidance for us, we can't miss out, because it will keep showing up in different forms until we embrace it. And if we don't embrace it, that's okay. There's no sort of blame or anything, but it really takes the pressure off. you know?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, I had a good laugh with a girlfriend this morning because 2 weeks ago, we set up a time to have lunch. And then I said, okay, well, because we normally do it in another group, right? And so we put it out there. Well, laugh upon laugh. One of the ladies cannot make it. So I laughed and I said, well, we set it up and then thought maybe it was going to be a little bit bigger. Well, it is slightly bigger, but it's as we started out. And I thought we could have got
The full
our
circle,
knickers in
right?
and we could have got our knickers in a real knot over it, but we didn't. And we simply had a laugh and thought, well, obviously this is how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
So.
And, you know, talking with Janet yesterday, that came up quite a lot about the choices that we make. So if you haven't seen yesterday's program, it was really fantastic because it was looking at the winter/summer solstice, because we were looking at the USA timeline and Australia timeline and human design and where we're at right now. And there's so many gates of love open for us, so much support coming through for the choices that we're making, and to really have a think about the choices that we're making. So you've just hit it right on the head.
Right. Now, Sheila has joined us, Anayah, and says, hello. Hello, Sheila. Sheila Tequila. What a great name.
Oh, Sheila's gorgeous. I've been connected with Sheila on Facebook for a long time, and she's a really lovely soul.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're very fortunate to be surrounded by beautiful souls. And I guess it's a chicken and the egg, isn't it? What starts?
Yeah, so true.
So, Sheila, I wonder what makes your heart sing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to all of our audience, if you would like to share with us, we'd love you to share with us. You know, what makes your heart sing? Because by sharing, we then expand each other's thought process. Because I might be going down one particular path, and then all of a sudden someone will mention something. Oh, hello, it's Sheila Tang, actually.
Yes, that's kind of like a fun name.
Well, I like that. Do you like tequila? I'm not wrapped in tequila, but I think it's a great surname.
Yeah. Oh, look at Sheila. She's answered your question.
Yes. Taking care of animals and seeing them thrive. Wow.
Love it.
You obviously know a little bit more about Sheila, Anayah. And so does Sheila have a refuge for animals? Or
no, she's just like a beautiful, kind, loving heart. And Sheila loves animals and has a beautiful way of providing a very loving, warm, balanced, safe home for them while they're here on Earth, and maintaining that connection once they've made their crossing. So, yeah.
Gorgeous. Well,
unless there's something I don't know, Sheila, do let us know. Maybe you do have a refuge. Maybe I just don't know.
Well, Sheila says, when I heal animals and see positive results, it makes me very happy. And also watching flowers. Also, I don't drink tequila. Well, I love to laugh. So thank you, Sheila, for the laugh.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't drink alcohol very often at all because, I'm not very good at it. I tend to get a bit loopy. But at Christmas time, I often do. And sometimes at Christmas time, I do have tequila, which is quite strange, isn't it, for a person who doesn't really drink alcohol? So it just goes to show, doesn't it, that when we start sharing like this, really, like, they don't mean anything, but fun little tidbits about a person might come out. And to me, that's a gorgeous thing because it's opening the door for sharing. It's opening the door for people to get to know us a little bit better. Yep.
Now, Sheila volunteers online for healing animals, and she does wish to have an animal sanctuary.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Sheila has lovely healing energy. I have experienced it myself, and I was very grateful. So isn't it beautiful, Annie, that once we start having these conversations, it starts opening the door. Maybe someone's watching or listening on the podcast who might be wanting to do something like Sheila's doing, might be wanting to even learn about using some energy healing. And here we've got someone who's sharing with us that might just be the prompt that that person needs to help them on their way to make that, you know, that wish something that they're actually going to embrace.
And that's what I love about Angel Heart Radio. How often do we see someone saying, oh, I just happen to be flicking by or whatever, and I'm here and I've heard exactly what I need to hear. Yep. It's like, oh, wow.
Too many times to count, hey?
Yes. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So the other thing I'm grateful for, and look, what makes my heart sing, is that deepening journey into gratitude. Just lately, especially, I've been really going deeper into my gratitude. And I've got lots of reasons to be grateful. So, you know, very blessed. And I realized that when we say we have gratitude, or when I say I have gratitude, sometimes I leave it at that, but I don't explore it. And just lately, I've been exploring what it really means for me to have gratitude. And that's taking me deeper. And I had a real revelation this morning. And it helped me to understand that sometimes the things in my life that maybe I wish could have been different and aren't. I had a real powerful connection to the soul connection, the soul reason, the soul meanings, possibilities. And that brought me even deeper into gratitude.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes it's, you know, like I really began to connect with sometimes when things aren't the way that I really wish they would be, things have changed maybe it's relationships or whatever. And then I suddenly got this very clear connection about what my part of the soul contract could possibly be and how important it is to let that be okay, to support that, you know, that deeper meaning and embrace the freedom of being okay with how things are.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I think I do. I look at a situation where a person is really challenged, and for me, it's really important to embrace the challenges and to know that, yes, we're going, rather than, which is exactly what you're saying, rather than saying, well, I wish it wasn't like this. Well, it is like this, and there's a very good reason for it.
Yeah. Which isn't to say that the journey through that isn't important. There can be a lot of grief, can be a lot of heartache and sadness and sometimes loneliness. But getting through that, for me anyway, getting through, and it's taken quite a long time. It's been over 5 years more, but I'm kind of feeling very peaceful around something in my life at the moment. And I'm seeing with new lenses, I'm seeing that it sometimes we feel like we've got to make things right. And maybe things are right just the way they are.
Yes, that word right. It's an interesting way, isn't it?
Yep, it is, because that's the whole journey, isn't it? Of, does that make your heart sing if you feel like you've got to make something right? No, it doesn't actually. That I felt very stressed. I felt like I had let the relationship down, myself down, the other person down. And then I suddenly, when I say suddenly, I mean, it's 5 years worth of suddenly. I can really see how incrementally I've learned quite a lot about what it means to just let my heart sing and be okay because I couldn't do it up here. I tried and tried and tried. I tried to think my way out of it, do my way out of it. And it wasn't until I really started to connect more parts of myself. And that's where the singing comes in for me. It's singing our song of love into the world. As the angel said, sing your song of love into the world. And that song of love sometimes is acceptance.
Right. So you mentioned singing, and as you know, singing is very, very dear to my heart. I feel fantastic when there's just something about singing. It's gorgeous. Now, Sheila has a very important message. That's beautiful, Anayah. That's a little bit back. Also, I am very happy to see you back. Yes, and you look amazing and healthy.
Oh,
what a journey you have been on.
It has been a journey. It's been a big journey. And I'm so grateful to be back. I didn't know for a while whether I would come back, actually. I thought that might have been the end of the road for me on Angel Heart Radio. So it's very exciting. Thank you, Sheila. I'm really grateful to be back. I feel good. I feel great. I'm happy. I've still got a few little things going on, but you know what? Who doesn't?
Yes. Oh.
Who doesn't, right? So
yes, that's right.
And this is not tequila, by the way.
Nor gin.
Nor gin.
Or vodka.
My 10:30 gin. Oops. See, that's the other thing, isn't it? The laughing. Finding little things to laugh about is wonderful. That makes my heart sing as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It really does.
I look back at times in my life, Anayah, and I realise now that there was very little laughter. Whereas these days, I can laugh at things that I do and think, rather than getting upset with myself, I just laugh and go, oh, well.
Yeah, I totally get that. I do. And it's the same for me too. I can be very hard on myself. And I'm especially over the last 5 or 6 years since Mum and Dad made their transitions.
Is it that long since your parents passed?
It'll be 6 years in November for Dad.
Wow.
It's just unbelievable to me that could be so long. And yet it feels like it was forever ago. It's that duality, isn't it? But it's so amazing what occurs. Well, what has occurred for me, finding comfort in the fact that I felt so uncomfortable without my parents. Learning how to be okay with that. It's okay to feel that way, Anayah. And it's okay to take as long as you need to. No one's got a stopwatch on you except for yourself. So why don't you just put that thing away and just be okay with it? And it's a big job and it took a lot. But, oh, my God, I'm so grateful that I did.
And see, that's a very powerful message, Anayah, because we do tend to be, A, hard on ourselves, B, we can look at other people in a similar situation and go, oh, they're coping, why aren't I? And I'm just talking about something generally there. We all have our own journeys. And I was talking to a friend this morning saying that we all act differently. We have a friend at the moment who's going through a very, very difficult time with her aging parents. And okay, we would all, it's important that we act as we feel right. And that's that word again. However, what's right for me wouldn't necessarily be right for you or anybody else. The thing is that it's important for me, as it has been for you, to believe in our own self and to know that what we're going through is important for us. And we're doing it. You've worked your way through what you have, as we are all working our way through. But to believe in ourselves and to know, A, that there's guidance out there as well. I think sometimes we think that we're doing it alone.
Absolutely.
And we have to do it alone, and we don't.
No. And the truth is we're actually never alone, even when we feel the most alone.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling so alone or feeling so overwhelmed, those times are very, very challenging. And I think that's one of a very important reason, Annie, why we choose to share the things that we do on Angel Heart Radio, and why I choose to share the things about my personal life and journey, because if there's a little seed of inspiration in there for someone, then that's what I want to plant.
Mm.
Because it's very easy for us to appear on camera as we do, and everything looks great. Well, it isn't always that way. And sometimes, you know, we've had great struggle and felt great suffering. But at the end of the day, that's part of what makes us not just who we are, because I don't think it does make us who we are in the sense that it's a part of our experience. It's not all of it. But in a lot of ways, that's what brings us closer to enlightenment, our own personal enlightenment, because it's accepting the parts of ourselves and loving those parts of ourselves and being true and authentic in those parts of ourselves. I just find that is such a beautiful thing.
Indeed. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, hey, I've got my slippers on and my pajama pants on.
Yeah.
No one can see that, but I do, right? So that's another thing that I'm grateful for today that makes my heart sing, that I can join you and be very comfortable. And so, you know, the top part of the picture doesn't match the bottom part of the picture, right? So it's a reminder that things aren't always as they appear. Cheers to pajama pants, I say.
Yes. That gorgeous word, love.
Yes, indeed. And again, you know, Janet was sharing just how much love is streaming onto the planet right now and being supported on the planet. So no matter how things look on the outside, we've got to keep, I feel it's very important to keep coming back to that. Otherwise, we just get swamped and overwhelmed and overloaded and then feel just like, how am I going to move on? We've got to make that choice some way, even if it's a tiny little choice. Yeah.
So it is important for us to know what makes our hearts sing, so that when we're in difficult times, challenging times, we can do one of those things. Or this is one of Marnie's ideas from her book, which is brilliant. She suggests that we have 10 things that we enjoy doing. And so therefore, if we're in a stressful situation, to look at that list and go, okay, so what can I do? No, it might be go for a walk in the garden, or simply sit. As Sheila was mentioning, she loves her flowers. Take yourself to a beautiful garden. It might be your own, might be the next door neighbours, might be the local park. Do something. It might be to get something creative going. You know, some of us are very good at being creative, and yet we put those activities aside. Oh, you know, I haven't got time today. Well, let us make the time. Hey, cheers to pajamas. Yes, Sheila, I agree.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and Kerry, welcome.
So lovely. And, you know, there's a little thing that happens for me. I don't know whether that happens for you guys, but especially if I've had a big, long day and I come home and I'm absolutely knackered. When I put my pajamas on, it's like a signal is transmitted straight into my brain. Relax.
Love it.
Relax.
You're
So
not
sometimes
alone.
Yeah,
in
sometimes
doing
I'll do that
When you
even in the
come
middle
home,
of the
and
day.
I've got another girlfriend, that's the first thing she does. And I must admit, I've got more into that habit of it. It's like, is anyone going to come? And I really don't care if somebody comes anyway.
It's all right. It's all good.
It's comfy clothing, isn't it?
Yes. And it tells my brain you can switch off now. You don't have to think about blah, blah, blah. You can just switch off. Yeah. So finding those things, and I have to agree with you, Marnie's book is fantastic. Calm Amid Chaos. Marnie Perna, Perna. I'll put the link in the comments for you guys. And I'm so excited. I'm also going to buy the audio book so I can listen in the car. Yeah. And
Fabulous.
I'm opening the book, at random, and the things that I'm reading, Marnie's genius, actually. And I don't even think she knows that, but she's got this way of just grounding everything with absolute pearls of wisdom tossed in that are very accessible and actually seem to mean something that I can grab onto. I'm really grateful for Marnie, and she's a fantastic kinesiologist. I go and see her myself. So do reach out to Marnie. She also works online. She's just, I was going to swear then.
Not you.
Whoops, Daisy. Not the big one. It was a smaller one, but I was going to. So yeah, she's gold. Marnie's gold.
All right. Now, Sheila has said, one of my favorite things to do when I am having a hard day is to soak in a hot tub with salt and lavender and sleep.
Oh, God, that sounds so good.
Yes, the old bath, that can be very, very useful.
Yep.
The other thing, and I've been down with friends in Tasmania, and they have an EE system, which is a whole method. They've got 24 computer screens that have different vibrations on them. It's amazing, amazing for working on well-being. And they have, once you've been in the room, they suggest a foot soak afterwards, because of course the water, especially if you put other things in it, salt or whatever, will draw out any impurities. So even without the EE system, a foot soak, because our feet take so much. We're standing on them so much. We're walking on them. We're stomping. All of these things. And I must admit, I take my feet and my teeth for granted. And it really is nice to pamper them.
Absolutely.
As well as the rest of our body.
That's a great idea. Actually, I'm going to do that today.
Mm.
See, that's the thing, isn't it? That's what makes my heart sing. So sitting here having a chat to you, and all of a sudden you say that, and I feel that anchor in. I can feel it. So I know straight off, this is important for me.
Right.
This is actually something to pay attention to.
Well, Kerry says it must be a PJ day because she's still in hers. Yeah. And I know some children who have a PJ day at school today as well.
Nice. That's so fun. Do you know what? It's so funny you should mention that, because I was just getting organized earlier and just thinking about the show today. And I don't know whatever made me think it, but I just suddenly saw you and I on screen in our pajamas having a pajama day and Angel Heart Radio.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Why not?
Let's set the date.
and it's the fun aspect of it, isn't it? That's what makes my heart sing, I guess. It's the fun.
Right.
It's simple joy in that little whatever it is. So beautiful.
Now, Kerry has asked about the system. She's new to Tassie. Where in Tassie are you, Kerry? And Kerry, can I find you on Facebook? Because I would love to give you some details about a lady to get in contact with.
Fantastic. Awesome. Got to love a good bit of networking.
Yes, don't you love it?
No, I do. I really do. And you're sort of, you're amazing at that. Your whole life is like you're the networker, aren't you?
I
You
am.
you
Yes.
really are. And you always have been ever since I've known you. You've always had this very special way of connecting people up. And I can remember, Annette, oh my gosh, all those years ago when we were a podcast, we weren't live streaming in those days, didn't even exist. And I can't remember where you were traveling to, somewhere or other, and you did your show from the airport.
Oh, yes, from Heathrow.
Yes. Because if it was me, I would have been, it'd be too noisy to be this. And you go, oh, well, you know what? I may as well do it. And you did. I can remember you in London, I think it was, and you were sleeping on a friend's couch and you got up and you did the show in the middle of the night to be on air for your regular showtime. So to me, you have that really special and fabulous way of cutting straight to the chase. Okay, what do I want to achieve here? All the rest is just white noise. And you just do it. It's awesome.
Well, see, it's Maureen St. Germain who I can thank for that. Because Maureen was on an island in Tonga with me, and she spoke on a mobile phone and did her regular radio show. And I went, so then I was on a similar island a couple of years later. And the very kind woman who was running the retreat, the place there, started the generator so I could do my show.
Wow. And that comes back to today's subject matter. That really made your heart sing to be able to do that, didn't it?
Yes, yes. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. All right. So Kerry's down in Oatlands, a lovely area of Tasmania. Well, let's face it, Tasmania's beautiful all over. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, Kerry, I will be in touch with you.
Fantastic. Of course, David Laws now lives in Tasmania.
Oh, does he?
I think it is. Yes.
Oh, I know. My goodness.
He's one of the most inspiring people on the planet. So you find him on Facebook, David Laws. He's amazing. If you're in Tasmania,
I never saw him moving from the Gold Coast. It's amazing how many people actually move from, I consider, the warmth of Queensland down to the serenity of Tassie. I met somebody else while I was down there who'd done exactly that.
Well, David's just starting up meditation nights at his home in Burnie. And I tell you what, if you live anywhere near there and you want to have an amazing experience, David Laws is definitely the man. He's an incredible soul and the most magical attractor of and giver of joy. He makes my heart sing all the time. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yes. Wow, wow, wow. Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed, indeed.
Thank you so much, Kerry says. Oh, isn't she fantastic? Oh, Oatlands.
Yes. Down in Tassie.
I've been to Tassie. I'd love to go to Tassie.
Oh, you'll have to come.
Yeah, I will have to come.
Moved from Victoria, 7 months in Tasmania. Love it so much. I understand, Kerry. I lived down there for 14 months. And if it wasn't for my gorgeous grandchildren in Melbourne, I'd be in Tassie.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another reason our hearts sing, our amazing children. Yep. How lucky we are, how blessed, how wonderful that we enjoy them so very much.
Yes. Yes. Oh, the blessings, the blessings, the blessings.
Yep. So sometimes it's a really obvious thing like grandchildren or our animals, our jobs, our homes, whatever. Maybe it's a good idea, everyone, if you maybe just ask yourself the question like I did this morning, what is it that makes my heart sing? What really is it? Because that led me down a path that I actually hadn't expected to go down today. It deepened. It took me deeper. Because we know we're grateful for lots of stuff, but to actually ask that question, what makes my heart sing? That was fantastic. Yeah.
And then, Anayah, to ensure that we're including those things in our lives. Now, it might not be every day. However, make sure that it is there rather than, oh, well, I'll do it later. Or, no, I haven't got time at the moment.
That's my big one. Oh, later. Because I'm Pisces, see? Pisces tend to leave things till later, honestly.
A gunner.
Yes, I'll do. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll do that later. And it's actually, and that's the other side of the coin, that it's okay to leave things till later if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about what is it that we really wish to experience in our lives. And again, I understand that for some people that's very challenging. There could be a lot of reasons for that. But the one little thing that we might find can be enough to pick us up and move us forward.
And Kerry's very generous. She's offering us a place to stay. Come on, Anayah, you'll have to put it on your wish list.
I really need a place to stay. Oh, have lots of room for you. Kerry, you're a gem. Don't think I'm not putting that aside, because I am. I'm going to, yeah. Look, I've been promising Annette I'm going to come to Melbourne forever. Maybe I should come to Melbourne. We'll go to Tassie together.
Absolutely.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I'm such a homebody, you see. I try and make this. I'm such a homebody. And I never used to be. But as the older I get, the more of a homebody I am. But having said that, I think there could be a golden seed in that, popping off and seeing Kerry and Tassie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. We'll stay in touch, Kerry.
We'll put it out there and see what happens.
And that's another thing Janet Hickox taught me. Because with Janet, she does the astrology and she also does human design. And you can get your free human design chart off Janet's website, living-astrology.com. It's so worth doing. And I'm a manifesting generator. And one of the things I've learned, and it has been an absolute game changer, is exactly that. So we've put it out there now to the universe, and it's about then letting the universe answer me back. And if the energy comes in to support it, boom, off we go. Whereas in the past, I would put a lot of time, energy, and attention into things, trying to make them happen.
Yes.
Just exhausting myself in the process. So let's see what happens, Kerry. Sounds wonderful.
It's so true, Anayah. And I've also learned that the more I hold on to something, going, oh, I want this to happen, I want this to happen. Well, it's not going to, because the universe cannot act on it because I'm holding it so close to myself.
Yeah.
Whereas we put stuff out there. The girlfriend I stayed with another Annette recently in the south of England, Emily, would love us, the three of us, to do a road trip next year. And rather than saying, oh, I'm not so sure about that, it was like, well, let's just see what happens.
Yes.
Because if the universe wants us together, that's what's going to happen. And, and we're planting a seed today. Oh, gorgeous. Kerry's saying, bring Elaine as well.
As well. We're going to have a party.
We'll bring a busload. We simply just put something out there, and we've got no idea. The universe is obviously prodding us. So let's see what it has in mind.
And the funny thing is as well, it just popped into my mind. My youngest daughter was going to be married in Scotland.
Yes.
And then COVID came and some other things happened. Her grandfather, who is so treasured, was not able to travel at that stage. So she said, right, that's it. That's on my list of non-negotiables, is for Poppy to give me away. So we get married in Australia. So that's what they did. But I bought this really warm jacket to go to Scotland in. And of course, I don't wear it here because it's not cold. It's not cold enough. But I think it'd be right in Tassie.
Yeah.
And it was only this morning that I thought to myself, I should get that jack it out and sell that, someone could really get good value out of that because it's amazing. Well,
there you go. How often, Anayah, do we do something for reason A and yet it's been for reason B, C, or D?
Absolutely. Yep.
And I
Don't
love
discount the magic just because it hasn't shown up yet.
Yes. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, and it's amazing timing as well because normally my daughter, my eldest daughter now has a different job. So whether or not I pick up the kids from school and drop them to school is irrelevant in the sense that it doesn't impact on her work. Whereas before I was the caregiver while she was at work. So I could actually take off. I could go someplace. I could do something between now and when my youngest has her baby.
Yes.
In October. Because she'll look after Sam for me, my dog. So it's all of these little things are just opening up, aren't they? I'm starting to think, ooh.
Oh.
I think you and I might have a little chat later between you, me, and Kerry.
Sounds wonderful. I don't quite understand.
Right.
Kerry's last comment. No.
No -7 the other day. What does that mean, Kerry? Is that like some sort of special code that we should understand? She's got a week next to it.
And people, I have put in Janet's email website, but the one underneath is Marnie's because Marnie is involved with, she runs kinesiology.
Yes. And she's awesome.
Right.
Perfect. Ah, gosh, this has been so fun. Honestly, who knew? Because we only decided yesterday that I was going to be here. Who knew about all the fun stuff that was waiting for us? And the fun we've had with Kerry and also with Sheila today. Yeah. And
with those lovely people who are in the audience and staying quiet.
Exactly. And that's not even counting everyone on the podcast. Welcome and thanks for being with us. It's not even a podcast yet. I've got to put it up. But it will be a podcast as well. So, which reminds me, Angel Heart Radio programs are not to be used to replace your legal, medical, nor professional advice, nor your own sound judgment. I forgot that.
That's exactly right.
Been wonderful. So fun.
Well, we have had fun, Anayah, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Do not give up your coat just yet.
Do not give up the coat just yet.
It does snow down there. Exactly.
Oh,
I wonder if Kerry means it's snowing at the moment because I had beautiful weather down in Ubina. Yes.
Wow, that's hilarious.
And you know, Anayah, last Saturday morning, I was hoping to go to Salamanca. That's normally what I do when I'm there. I go down once a year to do op shopping, Salamanca, football and whatever. And so on Saturday morning, yes, we were going to go to Salamanca, and then the heavens opened. I saw 5 rainbows in a row. I've never, ever seen. Usually I see one, maybe it's a double one, but you see it and then it disappears. But no, there were 5, one after the other. It was amazing.
Wow. And 5 is the number of change in the angel numbers.
Yes, there we go.
That's a blessing. Yes, it's a number of change. And when you're seeing rainbows like that with the number of change come in, wow. I mean, that feels very significant to me.
And my friend and I then discussed, because of the weather, what can we do? We could go to the movies, etc. And you know, by the time we decided that yes, that's what we would do, the heavens cleared. It was a beautiful afternoon, and I said, "Can we go to Salamanca?" So that's what we did. And I saw There are two lovely ladies down there who create amazing outfits, and they outsource to India, where they really look after their workers. And I'm
Beautiful.
so in love with what they do. And normally they have other people in their stalls. And so on Saturday, yes, the other people were there, but so were the two separate ladies. So I was so excited because I got to see Melody and Victoria, and that was such fun. They're wonderful. I'm going to show you their cards because you can get to their products online.
Okay.
Cachette,
Cachette, Keshet, for people listening
yes,
on the
that's Melody's.
Yep.
And then For Oneness is Victoria's.
Okay, so that's the number 4, oneness.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oneness.
yes. I like that.
And they really are fabulous, and you can get things online.
Oh,
But
that's
they couldn't get over the fact that, yes, I had got there and they were both there in their stalls. So I was obviously meant to go to Salamanca on Saturday.
And again, it was what we were speaking about earlier. Sometimes things start off looking one way when you just can flow with it a little bit. Maybe talking about the movies, maybe this, maybe that, the rainbows come. Oh, look at that. And it takes you to the place where, okay, the space is open now. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah. And I know that makes your heart sing.
I know.
It does. I know you. I know it does.
All right. Kerry's saying the sun is out. It's God's land, so very lucky.
Oh,
well,
perfect.
We're all lucky, Kerry, wherever we are. And for us to realise that we are fortunate, because no matter what's going on, there are always blessings. And as we said earlier, there's always help. There's help beyond the veil, and there's help around us. Some of us have trouble asking for help or accepting help. That can be a challenge.
But that's the journey, isn't it? And I know I always had a lot of problems asking for help. Oh my gosh. And accepting help. I always felt, and I have to do it all myself. I have to be the responsible one, yada, yada, yada. And when I first started receiving the messages from the angels that then became the angel code, Journey into the Words Whispered to Me, some of the messages went like this: ask, ask, ask. And then when you're done asking, ask for more. And that really that bothered me in the beginning. It was like, well, no, because that'll mean I'm greedy. And it took me through all those emotions that I had imposed upon myself. And it was awesome, because when I got through that, I could see the benefits, not only for myself, but for the whole planet. Because the more I ask and receive, the happier it makes me, the fuller it makes me, the more my cup overflows. And that overflow then benefits who knows. So asking is just so valuable. It's an underrated, the word commodity keeps coming in. It's very undervalued. Ask for everything that we need and know that we deserve to have everything. Everything. We were made in love. We're here to express love, anchor love, and love ourselves.
Absolutely. I know, Anayah, you know I travel a lot, and usually I've got 2 cases and a bag and all sorts of things. And people in the past have said, oh, may I help? No. Here's little Miss, independent. No. Tell you what, these days I say, oh, thank you so much. And I've even got to the point, if I have to take a big case downstairs, I ask a gentleman. And it's amazing. Fabulous. They always say yes. And I'm always very grateful. Sometimes they get a little treat. I like to have little treats in my bag to be able to say,
yes, I know you do. Much. You're great like that. A little chocky or whatever it might be. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'll tell you who's a rat bag for that, and that's my stepmother, June. Oh, she's so independent. I just love that woman. She's almost 95. She's got her walker. She's quite bent now. She's got a walking stick strapped to it and a handbag. She puts a handbag around her neck. And she's got bags. I was like, June, let me help you. No, because she's so independent. No. So I've learned, and I learned from my sister as I saw her do it, and I thought, I don't know, I never thought of that. Don't even ask. I just take the bag. I'll hold that, June. Sometimes the asking, when we get the reply, no. Sometimes it's enough to say, right, just take the bag. I'll hold on to that while you hop in the car. You know what I mean? It showed me that there were different ways to do things, and it was an important lesson for me. Yep.
Ooh. Yes, and I like the way you say that. Let me have your bag while you get into the car, or I'll hold your bag while you get into the car. You're not saying give it to me. You're respecting the person. However, there is another way of being able to say, yes, well, let me hold it. Let me open the door for you while you go through. Whatever.
And it's a partnership. Let's support each other. Let's help each other in ways that are mutually beneficial. I just think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. All right, my dear, I think we've done really, really well. And I'd like to thank everybody who has contributed, especially Kerry and Sheila. To our other presenters who we've mentioned this morning, I'd like to thank you for your parts in Angel Heart Radio. Rosemary, thank you so much for the topic. It was absolutely brilliant. Anayah, thank you for being available at the 11th hour. It was obviously wonderful. It's been perfect.
It has, and who knows, we might get a trip to Tassie out of this.
You never know. Stay tuned, everybody. I'll be back next week with Elaine Ann and her wonderful numerology. So if you're interested in your numbers and what they might suggest for you, make sure 10 a.m. Eastern Australian time next Thursday. Anayah, thank you. May we all enjoy the rest of today doing something that makes our hearts sing.